A brand new study is out, shedding light on the state of the American worker. According to the Trans-America Center for Retirement Studies, a third of displaced workers are tapping their 401k retirement plans this year just to make ends meet. Joining us now, former Morgan Stanley Managing Director Rich DeSalvo. Rich used to run Morgan Stanley's 401k retirement department. Now you're in the recovering banker category.
Yes,
is that
something like that. Yes.
A 12-step program, I'm sure.
13.
What does your 401k look like?
I'll tell you what's interesting. My 401k is frankly very conservative. I will share with you, I don't buy and hold, I buy and walk away.
Okay, I want to talk to you a little bit more about that, but first I want to ask you why it's not a good idea. When you're out of work and you have nowhere to turn, why not tap into your 401k?
Well, let's say if you do, first of all, understand there's 25 million people right now, Jen, who are either unemployed or underemployed at this moment in this scenario, right? And now what they do is they go to the path of least resistance.
Because it's there.
Of course it's there, but that doesn't mean you should necessarily take it.
So on the screen we have some of the reasons that you've given us. You know, you can lose bankruptcy protection. That's something to look at. There can also be some penalties and fines associated with it. You know, if someone does do this, what are they facing?
Well, I'm going to put it in very simple math for everyone. If you have, say, $15,000 loan and you actually default on that loan, which can be very easy, especially if you're employed and become unemployed, you'll lose about $5,000 in penalties and fees.
So it's $20,000. If you put everything together, the $15,000 you borrowed and then the $5,000.
$5,000 in penalties, you'll net 10.
Wow.
That's a simple way to think of it.
So when you say loan, that's something else I think that most of us don't understand, is that when we take for our 401k, we're actually borrowing from it. It's not just free money.
That's correct. You are actually taking a loan out of your 401k. You are technically paying yourself back, and people think, oh, well, that's a wonderful thing. Well, the point, though, is you cannot necessarily, you have to pay that back. You can't take those dollars and invest in the stock market and other things. You have to repay that loan. You can't even necessarily prepay it. It has to go through contributions. So you're very limited on even the terms of that loan.
Interesting. Let's get back to your 401k.
Okay.
A lot of us get statements in the mail, giving us an update on our 401ks, or we can check online. A lot of times those statements come in, and we were talking about it amongst our team that we don't really even know what to check on. I mean, you're the guy that ran the 401k department. I mean, what should we be looking at when we look at our statements?
Well, the first thing I'm going to tell you is in today's technology, if you have a computer and you can go on your password and open up, I wouldn't even get paper statements.
Okay.
Why bother?
Sure.
Because I'm not going to open up anyway. All I'm going to do is look at it, and I don't really understand what I'm looking at. So what I would suggest is really looking at beginning balance, ending balance, and based on where you have those assets, some of the things I would look at, Jenna, again, I'm very big on boring is important to me. So I look for fundamentals, look for dividend payers, stocks, and that's the kind of thing I look for.
How often should we check, though? Because you can get obsessive about this, right? Checking every week, and it's your 401k. You're supposed to have it decades from now.
I'm going to give you an extreme answer to make a point. Never.
Never?
But I'm going to tell you once a year.
Once a year?
Once a year. Some will tell you 4 times a year. But if you're not moving the investment around and you felt that you're dollar cost averaging, putting money in every single time, what's there to check?
Interesting. Rich. All right. Rich DeSalvo, you have your own website. If people have more questions for you, I'm sure they can find you there. Thank you so much for the time today. We appreciate it very much.
My pleasure.
John, you have some good tips now?
I just learned a bunch of things I've done wrong over the years.
I think we all have.
Thanks.